Hello everyone, it's Jackie. Welcome back to my channel. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's watching, and whether you comment or not is fine. If you do comment, I try and answer everyone. I'm sorry if I miss anybody. Sometimes I don't get notifications. And thank you to everybody who posts and offers inspiration. And I'm saying that because this journal and another one which I will video shortly have been very heavily inspired by somebody I've just discovered. You might all know her. Her name's is it Sherry, and she's Luna Rosu on YouTube, and she's amazing, absolutely amazing. I just fallen in love with her journals, and I've been binge watching. So I don't know where I've been, how I didn't know about her, but anyway, this is the first one I made after watching her videos. It's Traveller's Notebook size, which, as you know, if you've been watching me for a while, is a size I do quite often. I actually like using this size myself a lot. I like the single 8x4 or just over 8x4, and I like the double page square if I'm doing a layout sort of spread. So I've stuck with that. This is some seam binding that I bought from Splattered Inky on Etsy, and on the front I've used some vintage doilies sort of chopped up. This is from an old cigarette card album. This isn't old, but these pearl buttons I think are. I've covered this journal in a very soft piece of quilt that I was gifted. I had two pieces given me from my friend Carol, who doesn't junk journal but sort of gets it, so thank you, Carol. I'm not sure how old these are. They're not antique because they've got polyester padding on the inside, but I suspect they're quite old, probably middle of the last century, I would guess. Anyway, I'll show you inside. So this, as I say, is a really soft, I've done nothing to it, just stitched my book to the quilt. Sorry, can't get my words out. And this is the idea that originally started me off, that I got from Luna. I'm going to call her Luna because I can't remember if it's Sheila or Cherie. I think it's Cherie. And she uses a lot of authentic ephemera. I have some, but not much. And what I have got, I didn't know how to use. So that's what she's inspired me to do. So I've started with an envelope, which I've torn actually. So it's half and half. It's from 1947. And then on this side, I've made a pocket. I've embossed that and decorated a guest check with some vintage dictionary and a printable, which I think is from My Porch Prints. This is some cardstock that I was gifted originally by Nick, I think, from Nick the Booksmith, when I won her giveaway over a year ago now. And I've used a vintage postcard, which is another thing Luna Rosu does quite a lot, to make a pocket here. I've got some ruffles and a pearl button. And then on this side, there's quite a lot going on, I suppose, but I like this spread a lot. So this is just an old children's playing card and a postcard from 1914. I liked the purple, and here I've put in a library card, a vintage library card, in a pocket that I've made from a floral book page. There's a little snippet up here, and then on this side I've got a book page. It's not vintage, but it's I thought the colours, I love yellow and green together, and I've mixed that with some purple to pick this up here. And then on the next page we've got some pink and purples. So this journal is basically pink, green and purple with touches of yellow mainly, and some blue. This is piano roll paper and fussy cut here. This is an old knitting pattern, and this side I've turned it into, I've just put a strip up here to strengthen it, where I've put that, where I've put the fabric. I've made a book page tag with some Tracy Fox labels on there, and a bit of lace. This is a old French book, and I've done a bit more of my snippet roll tab on there. This is a ledger from 1922, and on this side we've got, it's not written on, but it's an old postcard. A labour of love, that says. This is from my porch prints. On this page I've just used, this is from a solicitor about somebody's estate after they've passed away, 1948. So I've just tucked that over there. This and the other one I'll show you will be going into my Etsy shop, if you're interested in buying these. This one I've just made a little tag with a vintage stamp on it. This is another invoice of 1965. Edith Holden. I liked it because of the purple. I added it because of the purple. This is an old envelope. I've stitched a ruffle down this side. I think I might have glued that on. We've got a little heart charm at the bottom here. And when I opened this envelope out, it was, there was sort of fabric, I guess, on the inside to strengthen it. So I've just left that as is. This is an old letter that I folded up to make a tuck spot. This is a copy of a vintage postcard, and another little tag out of that cigarette card album. This is a really old ledger sheet. I think this is from 1888. And I've, oh yeah, 1888, and this gorgeous writing, so I haven't done anything to that. This is a children's book page, and a bit of my snippet roll with some sari trim there. Piano paper. This is out of a vintage atlas. This is some sari silk trim. This is my centre. This is the end paper from a really old ledger, from Yeldersley Home Farm Accounts, Ashbourne, Derbyshire. This legal notice was already stuck into the ledger, so I've just left that, and I've just put some tiny stars onto those strings. This is quite thick. The Willow Fairy. Lace and fabric tab. This is a pocket made from an old Rolodex card, and this is a postcard again that's not written on. And then on this side I've popped a playing card onto, made it into a little tag, I suppose. I liked it because it was two bad mice, and I've got these two little mice here on this children's book page. This is the other side of that envelope, and I've turned that into a flip up. So that's that, and there's a couple of journal cards there, one from a vintage Flower Fairy book, and I've just clipped those in just to keep them in place with some Tim Holtz. And this is a bit of doily, similar to the one I've got on the front, and you can see that this envelope contained a school leaving card. Another vintage postcard, or maybe that might have been off maybe off a Easter card or birthday card. A bit more sari silk ruffle. This is another Flower Fairy tag that I've put together. This flips out, and I've got a corner pocket and another book page tag. This is the other side of that knitting pattern. I kind of wished I hadn't put the bright blue in, but you know, I did, and it kind of works. I've just put some of the cut-offs from that doily, I think it was an old tablecloth actually, on that. It's just to decorate the edge of that page. Here we've got another vintage postcard. A bit more of the purple sari there, a little bit of collaging at the bottom. And the back of the envelope from the front I've stuck down, and even though it's getting a bit fat, I've done another My Porch Prints journal card there. So that's, I can't remember what I've called this one off the top of my head, but that will be going into my Etsy shop. I really love it, might even keep it. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you Luna Rosu. As I say, I'll put her link below, please go and visit her. Thank you.